Thank you, and thank you to Live Action for leading on this all-important issue. Someday may we look back on those who supported abortion like we look back on those who supported slavery, because as slavery was the stain in our nation in the 1800s, so has abortion been in the 1900s and the 2000s. The Dobbs decision that overturned finally, mercifully, the Roe v. Wade decision, the only decision in the history of the country that cost 63 million lives. Think about that, 63 million lives. So there's 63 million fewer Americans with us today, 63 million fewer teachers, doctors, medical practitioners, engineers, pastors, missionaries, and so forth in our culture, in our society. 63 million fewer people paying into Social Security, contributing to our economy, making us better, stronger, inventing things, creating things, building things, fixing things, not in our country today because of this terrible Roe v. Wade decision from some 50 years ago. And yet abortion is still the leading killer today in America. It is the leading killer today in America. More than heart disease, more than cancer. It's only abortion that exceeds that in terms of the death toll on an annual basis. Nearly 1 million precious, innocent lives lost to the heinous, terrible practice of abortion. The Democrat Party long departed from the Clinton era even of the safe, legal, and rare. No, the Democrat Party today is celebrate abortion, call for more abortion, up to the moment of birth, any time, for any reason, paid for by your tax dollars. That is the Democrat Party today. The Republican Party must remain the party of life. We must fight against what I call the Great Departure. The Great Departure meaning of so many elected officials who, after the Roe decision, suddenly didn't want to play a role anymore in the effort to limit abortion from a legislative standpoint. Some of those who voted to restrict abortion when the Roe decision was in place became hyper-federalists, saying, oh, we have no longer a federal role, a congressional role. It's been given back to the states. That is not an accurate reading of the Dobbs decision. The accurate reading of the Dobbs decision says it was given to the people's representatives, which includes the states and the federal representatives. Life is precious from the moment of conception and must be protected from the moment of conception. We should not be in a position of negotiating the timeline of abortion, of when abortion is okay and when it's not okay. Instead, we ought to stand up for all precious, innocent life in the womb. And Congress should show the same courage that the Supreme Court showed 2 years ago with the infamous leak of the Dobbs decision and the intimidation, the threats, the protests, the harassment of Supreme Court justice, looked the other way by the Attorney General, the head of the Department of Injustice under the Biden administration, didn't care about the threats, even death threats, to Supreme Court justices. And yet those justices showed courage in finally overturning perhaps the worst decision in the history of the Supreme Court. So thank God for the Dobbs decision. Thank God for those like Live Action who are willing to stand in the gap to protect and stand for all life, precious, innocent life from the womb. And I'm proud to continue to work towards protecting life from conception. Thank you.